Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, Chapter 15. Since Dill came to Maycomb without his mother knowing, he wrote an apology letter to her for running off like that. It was decided that he could stay with the Finch family. Dill was still fascinated by Boo Radley, so he decided to put a trail of lemon drops in order for him to come out. Also, a group of people showed up at the Finch's house, and Atticus told Jem and Scout to go back inside the house. Jem and Scout looked out the windows to see that there was a group of men surrounding Atticus. The men were talking to Atticus, saying that Tom Robinson was going to be moved to the county jail. Tate, who is the sheriff in Maycomb, does not want to keep Tom Robinson in town jail the night before the trial starts. This enables the possibility of a mob forming. There were many back and forth threats, but Atticus told the group of people that he would make sure that the truth gets told. Then the group of people began to walk closer and closer towards Atticus. Jem then shouts to Atticus that the phone was ringing, and the group of people get startled and begin to disperse. Jem started to get suspicious about the group of people and began to ask Atticus if that was a gang that approached him. Jem had heard of a gang in Maycomb before, but Atticus said that he was mistaken. But Atticus tells Jem that the group of people were just friends and that there are no gangs in Maycomb. Then Sunday comes and Tom Robinson is moved to the Maycomb jail. Later on, Scout starts to find Aunt Alexandra very irritating. When Atticus would go to his office after dinner, Aunt Alexandra would take a 2-hour nap and make sure no one made any noise while she was sleeping. In the evening, Atticus left the house in the car and told Scout and Jem that he was leaving. Normally, Atticus never takes the car because he said that his only exercise was in fact walking. Later that night, as Scout was going to bed, she heard Jem rattling around in his room. Scout wanted to know why Jem was leaving, but he wouldn't tell her. She declared to him that she was going with him whether he liked it or not. Then Dill decided to join them, and they began their trip downtown. The reason why Jem wanted to go downtown was because he felt that something bad was going to happen to Atticus. They saw Atticus's car in front of the bank, but he wasn't in there. As they kept walking towards the county jail, they saw Atticus in front of the jail reading. Then Scout was going to run to Atticus, but Jem stopped her. As Jem, Scout, and Dill were taking a shortcut home, they saw 4 cars coming from the Meridian Highway and stopped in front of the jail. The men started exiting their cars and asked Atticus if Tom Robinson was there. Atticus said that he was sleeping, and the men began to threaten Atticus and tell him to move away from the door. There is a lot of threatening talk going on, and Scout just can't take it, so she runs off towards Atticus. Atticus looks very afraid when he sees Scout, so Atticus tells Jem to take Scout and Dill home. Jem doesn't want to, so there's a bit of a father and son face-off. After Scout runs up to Atticus, she notices a familiar face, Mr. Cunningham. She starts talking to Mr. Cunningham, saying that she goes to school with his son, Walter Cunningham. She even tells him about the time when Walter Cunningham ate dinner at her house, although Mr. Cunningham doesn't really bother to answer any of her questions. After Scout is finished asking Mr. Cunningham many questions, Mr. Cunningham squats down and tells Scout that he will tell Walter that she says hi. When he straightens up, he told the group of people to clear out, and eventually they all did. Tom Robinson speaks up and asks Atticus if the group was gone, and Atticus says that they were. Then another voice speaks up, which is Mr. Underwood, and said that he was in the Maycomb Tribune office for backup. Then Atticus, Jem, and Scout start their journey back home, and Scout thinks that Jem is going to get a lecture from Atticus because he didn't do as he said, but Atticus did no such thing, and actually showed Jem some affection. The theme of this chapter would be something along the lines of justice. Atticus always does his best to make sure that the truth and justice are always the top priorities. He has a strong sense of morality, and he tries to demonstrate that to people whenever he has the chance to. The Tom Robinson case is his chance, and he will remain strong and confident until the truth about Tom Robinson is revealed.